Hey guys, I'm going to be reviewing the Lorac Pro 2 palette. Now if you want to see the swatches dry versus the Lorac Pro palette, then please check out my comparison video. I will link it down below. It'll be the first link. Anyway, so this is the Lorac Pro and the Lorac Pro 2. Lorac Pro 2. I just wanted to show you guys so you can kind of see the difference. Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys what my experiences with the Lorac Pro 2 is, and so I'm just going to jump right in actually. Now here's my, I guess my biggest complaint about the Lorac Pro 2 is that, so the Lorac Pro 1 has some really nice shades that are base shades, you know, you could put them all over the lid, it'd be nice. And there's 3 of them. There's the white, the cream, and the light pink. The Lorac Pro only has 1, maybe 2 shades that can be used that way, and that is Nectar, which is right here, which is kind of peachy, it's really pretty peachy, and I don't know, I haven't used that as an all over lid shade, or an all over, you know, just kind of even things out is what I'm trying to say. And then Buff, which is in the corner. And so that's my biggest complaint is I wish there was a white shade or a cream shade. Buff is pretty yellowy, so I don't know, that's my #1 complaint. And I think you would hit pan on Buff quicker than anything, just because there's only 1 shade that's like that, at least for my skin tone. So it's gonna be different if you have a different skin tone, I think. So I would say that if you have the Lorac Pro, you don't necessarily need to get the Lorac Pro 2. But, it wouldn't hurt you if you did. You would still like the shades, you would still use them. Also, the formula. I don't know if the formula is different, but the Lorac Pro shades are really powdery, and these ones are way less powdery. And that is actually a downside in my opinion, because the mattes were a little bit harder to put on and make sure you had a good, even coat of the palettes, you know, so I actually did not like that this wasn't as powdery. If the Lorac Pro had all of these shades minus Jade and Cocoa and replaced with white and cream, I would probably use this non-stop because they would be the powdery consistency of the Lorac Pro palette, but the shades that I really like. So that was kind of a downfall, but it is less messy, I guess. But I do really like these colors, and I'm going to show them to you wet real quick. And so the dry swatches are on top and the wet swatches are on bottom, and you'll see the kind of the pigmentation of them wet and dry are basically the same, you guys. You can tell that pigmentation is basically the same. It's the color that is a little bit different of each shade. For example, the dry version of the mocha shade, I think is what it's called, is a little bit darker in my opinion. This shade is darker than this shade. And with the silver shade, those are actually very much the same, the silver shades. And then the rose gold shades, you can tell that this is a little bit more rosy and gold, whereas this is pretty less rosy and less I'm not going to say less pigmented because it's the same pigmentation, it's just a different kind of shade to it. You can also use these matte shades as wet too. I'll show you that real quick. So applying the matte shades wet works really well, which is very rare to find, because generally if you use the Naked palettes at all wet, they're matte shades, you kind of get this film over the shade and very hard, and you don't get any color off of that. And that always happens with the Naked palettes. Now with Lorac, it doesn't happen. So you can use the matte shades wet too, which you get really awesome color payoff with doing that. So yeah, I think that these are really great palettes, both of these, honestly. You couldn't go wrong with either one, but I do prefer the color selection in Lorac. I prefer the feel of these ones. So I don't know, if you want a really nice blendable shadow, I would go with Lorac Pro. If you don't mind not being able to blend very well, then I go with Lorac Pro 2. And also, this is my personal opinion, I find it harder for these to blend, but some people might find it easier, some people might find it the same. For me, it was more difficult. So it's all about personal opinion, but for those of you that might want to know, I prefer the colors of this one and the feel of this one. Like, I was really starting to miss the matte shades specifically of this palette. It has really nice matte shades. So yeah, I hope that this review was at least okay. And just so you guys know, they both come with 16 shadows, so you're getting the same amount. The colors are just different. So I would definitely recommend going to a store and swatching them for yourself before purchasing one or the other. But if you're purchasing both, then you probably don't need to feel them, because I can tell you that they're both incredible. So I'm so glad I bought these. These are like one of the best purchases I've made this year. So yeah, hopefully that was a decent review for you guys. If you want to check out any of the tutorials for the Lorac Pro 2, I will go ahead and link the playlist down below, as well as the Lorac Pro playlist. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!